I never really believed in ghost stories or any of that weird stuff until I moved to Portland last year. My name is Zelda, yeah, like the video game character, and my parents thought they were being clever when they named me. Anyway, I'm 24 and I work at a coffee shop downtown called Been There Done That. Stupid name, but the owners think they're hilarious. The pay sucks, but at least I can afford a small apartment. So here's the thing. I found this place on Craigslist for super cheap. Like way too cheap for Portland. We're talking $800 for a 2-bedroom when everything else in the area was going for at least $1,200. I should have known something was up, but I was desperate. My previous roommate had moved out without warning and stuck me with the full rent on our old place. The landlord, this old guy named Mr. Chen, said it was because the house was really old and needed some work. Built in 1923 or something like that. He seemed nice enough, just wanted someone quiet who wouldn't throw parties. Perfect for me, since I mostly just watch Netflix and go to bed early. He showed me around and kept apologizing for the creaky floors and old plumbing. Said he'd fix things up gradually, but needed a reliable tenant first. The house was actually pretty cool. 2 stories, hardwood floors that creaked everywhere you walked. My cat Muffins loved running around at night and making all kinds of noise with those floors. The place had this long hallway upstairs with a big mirror at the end of it. Really old mirror with this fancy gold frame. Mr. Chen said it came with the house and the previous owners left it behind. Everything was normal for the first month. I worked my shifts, came home tired, fed Muffins, watched some TV, the usual routine. But then I started having trouble sleeping. Not because of nightmares or anything like that. I just kept waking up around 3 in the morning to pee, every single night. My bladder became like an alarm clock. The bathroom was down that hallway, so I had to walk past the mirror every time. At first, I didn't really pay attention to it. You know how it is when you're half asleep and just trying to get to the bathroom without stubbing your toe on something. But one night, I swear I saw someone behind me in that mirror, just for a split second. This tall figure standing over my shoulder. I turned around fast, but nobody was there. Just the empty hallway and Muffins sitting by my bedroom door looking at me like I was crazy. I figured I was just tired. Working doubles at the coffee shop was killing me, and I hadn't been eating right either, just surviving on leftover pastries and energy drinks. My mom always said lack of sleep makes you see things that aren't there. But it kept happening. Every night when I walked past that mirror. Always the same time too, 3:17 a.m. exactly. I started checking my phone because it was so weird how consistent it was. Same time, same mirror, same tall figure just standing there behind me. The guy looked normal enough from what I could see. Average height, dark hair, wearing what looked like a regular shirt. Nothing scary about his appearance, really. But something about seeing him there made my skin crawl. Maybe because he was always perfectly still, just watching. I tried different things to avoid it. Started using the downstairs bathroom, even though it meant going down those creaky stairs. But that got old fast, and honestly, I felt stupid letting some mirror trick mess with my head. So I went back to using the upstairs bathroom. One night, I decided to test it. I woke up at my usual 3 a.m. bladder call, and instead of rushing to the bathroom, I stood there staring at myself in the mirror, just waiting to see what would happen. I looked tired as hell. My hair was sticking up everywhere and I had these dark circles under my eyes. I yawned and stretched my arms above my head. Normal stuff. Then I just stood there watching my reflection, feeling kind of stupid for doing this whole experiment. That's when I noticed something really fucking weird. I yawned again, but my reflection in the mirror yawned like 3 seconds after I did. At first I thought maybe I was imagining it, so I raised my hand. Same thing. My reflection copied the movement, but with this slight delay, like when you're on a video call and the connection is bad. Then the man appeared behind me in the mirror, just like always. But this time I kept staring instead of turning around. I watched him in the reflection, and he was watching me too. Really watching me, with this intense look on his face. Here's the part that still gives me nightmares. I slowly lifted my hand to wave at him, and my reflection did the same thing with that weird delay. But the man in the mirror, he waved back at my actual movement, not the delayed reflection. like he could see the real me, not just the mirror version. My brain started putting pieces together. This wasn't right. Mirrors don't work like that. There shouldn't be any delay. And how could someone be behind me when I checked 1,000,000 times and nobody was ever there? I ran downstairs and called Mr. Chen. It was like 4 in the morning, but I didn't care. Took him forever to answer and he sounded really annoyed. I tried to explain about the mirror and the delay and the man, but he just kept saying I was probably sleepwalking or having bad dreams. But I wasn't dreaming. I knew what I saw. The next day I went to Home Depot and bought a flashlight, the really bright kind. That night I waited until 3:17 a.m. and went back to that hallway. Instead of looking in the mirror, I shined the flashlight all around the frame, looking for anything weird. That's when I found it. A tiny hole in the wall next to the mirror, barely visible unless you were really looking for it. And the mirror itself, when I tapped on it, sounded different than regular mirrors, more hollow. I spent the whole next day researching online about old houses and hidden rooms. Turns out, houses from the 1920s sometimes had secret spaces for hiding alcohol during Prohibition. Made sense for Portland. I found this company that specializes in old house renovations and called them. The guy who came out was named Rick, and he took one look at that mirror and started laughing. Not in a mean way, just like he'd seen this before. He explained that it wasn't a mirror at all. It was one-way glass, like what they use in police stations. Behind it was a small room, maybe 4 feet wide, where someone could watch without being seen. We managed to pry the thing off the wall, and sure enough, there was this tiny room behind it, just big enough for one person to sit. And inside was a chair, some old blankets, and this ancient video camera connected to a small monitor. The camera was pointed through the one-way glass, and the monitor showed the feed with about a 3-second delay before projecting it back through the glass. That's why my reflection was delayed. Rick said the setup was probably from the 1980s based on the equipment. Whoever lived here before had been watching people in the hallway and making them think they were looking in a normal mirror. But here's the thing that still bothers me. The equipment was dusty, but not dead dusty. Like someone had been using it recently. And when we checked the camera, it was still recording. The memory card was almost full of footage of me walking past that mirror every night for 2 months. I moved out the next week. Didn't even ask for my deposit back, just packed up muffins and left. Mr. Chen seemed really upset when I told him I was breaking my lease, but I didn't care. Sometimes I wonder who was watching me those nights. Was it Mr. Chen? Some previous tenant who still had a key? Or someone else entirely who knew about that hidden room? The police said they'd look into it, but I never heard back from them. I live in Seattle now, and I always check my mirrors, tap on them, look for weird holes in walls, make sure my reflection moves when I do. It's probably paranoid, but after what happened in Portland, I'm not taking any chances. The worst part isn't even the spying. It's knowing that for 2 whole months, every night at 3:17 a.m., someone was sitting in that tiny room watching me through fake glass, probably laughing at how scared I looked when I saw their reflection behind mine.